So
Very quick.
I know, I didn't know what you were doing. So yesterday I was working on the 87 and sanded down the undercarriage and put rust reformer on it and undercoated it so that it's ready to put the suspension on. Sanded down the undercarriage, and that's really it. So today we're gonna go over there and finish sanding the door openings. Really, I mean, besides the inside, yeah, that's everything on the outside. So after we do that, the bottom, everything on the bottom I want to do with undercoating, and then everything, you know, like all the jams, everything that's going to be seen when you open, I want to actually use base clear on that, and then do that, use base clear on everything that you're going to see in the engine compartment. But yeah, today is just basically like, you know, sanding and putting down the primer. All right, so yesterday I sanded down the undercarriage and rust proofed it and then undercoated it. We're going to get into the engine compartment and do the same process. Just sanded. I got most of it sanded down, but I got to get into all the little nooks and crannies and sand that down. And then I hit it all with 80 grit, so I have to smooth it out. And yeah, we're gonna do that. And then I got to finish the doors, door opening. Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff to do. So let's get started. Oh my God, it's gonna take forever. Okay, so all right, some of this I'm gonna have to do with the die grinder because otherwise it's gonna take all day. I guess I should wait for that air compressor to catch up. So where should I start? Good Lord, there's so much. I mean, the thing is, like, I want to get the majority of it. Some places really doesn't matter too much. Like right around here is all going to be covered by an AC box, so it doesn't really make a difference. It's going to peel inside, it's going to be covered up anyway. This is all going to be covered up by the brake booster. So you just got to think of, like, you know, what panels are going to be where. But the other thing is you want to make sure that everything's been hit by sandpaper so that it's roughed up so the paint will stick. All right, so let's see what else has to be done. That's going to be covered. That's covered. That's covered. That'll be covered. This will be seen. Most of this is going to be covered up by the intake manifold, so that doesn't really matter. Another can, and then I'm gonna have to hop in there. It's a rust proofer, but it's kind of like a primer, like it's sandable. So anytime I'm blacking anything out that's gonna be like under the fenders, under the bumper, whatever, I always use this just because, you know, it has both properties. I've had good luck with it. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's not something that I would use like on the body panels of the car or something like that, but for this it works. I like it. Oh, that's a good idea, dude. Good thinking. Oh my God. I'm gonna have like one really strong pointer finger.
Yeah.
People are gonna hate this.
Why?
Just so you're not surprised. Because this is not the traditional way to do it. So you're gonna have like the keyboard warriors or technicians or whatever that, like, you know, they want to use real primer and reducer, you know, out of a spray gun, which I have. But for stuff like this, like typically if I'm painting the car, like the outside, sure, you know, you got to do it the right way. But when you're doing stuff like this, engine compartment, stuff that the door jams, you know, stuff that isn't seen, that doesn't, you know, get that much wear, that stuff really doesn't matter. Like, you can make it look close to the same, and the reality is it's going to stay dirty all the time. You know, dust and dirt and whatever collect in the jams, they collect in the engine compartment. So unless it's a show car that's just sitting in your garage, it doesn't, you know, spend $50 on spraying it, and yeah, it doesn't matter. But that's why, you know, the thing is, like, I'll show you how I do it. I'm definitely not saying the way that I do it is the right way. It's just how I do it. Yeah, that on top. That one. Yep. Hit it. Yeah, just hold it. All right, that's good. All right, flashlight, the thing I lose the most in this life, besides my mind. All right, let's see. Oh my God, what'd I do? Did I not grab paint? I did not. And now my C4 is warm.
Yeah, there is power rating.
Yeah. All right, it's good, and we let that dry. All right, so now let's let it sit here. We'll leave the fans on, dry. I'm gonna blow this off and then paint this. Everywhere looks awesome, none of the typical spots. Everything's clean. Then I start getting into the T-tops. And it's nasty. All gonna have to be done. Oh my god. Yeah. It's not pretty. It sucks because weather stripping was actually T-top. We're sealed. But they would have leaked. This isn't that bad. It's not as bad as it could be. Let's put it that way. Bolt is almost gone. Okay. Well. Rip the rest of this stuff out. Hopefully there's no rust in any of the channels. It doesn't look like there is. I mean, it's all external, so should be good, but you know, I thought that didn't look that bad either, and then opened it up, so we'll see. Screw one foot out of the channel. Doesn't happen every time. So, this is what we uncovered. Not horrible. Not horrible at all. Most of it's surface rust. Some of it is, you know, little pits and stuff that can be cleaned up. So, the bad part is that the center channel, or whatever it's called, that holds the middle of the weather stripping together. Yeah, but that's replaceable. Everything else is fixable, so no biggie. It's much better, in fact, than the 81 was. So. All right, so we painted the engine compartment yesterday. Came out pretty good. And the interior floor pans are all sanded and prepped. So we are good.